Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the Shami's kitchen, your favorite kitchen where we make amazing meals using the simplest ingredients. So a while back I did a red velvet cake recipe which is doing very well. You should check that up on this channel, and that recipe we use the oven and the hand mixer. So I decided to do to simplify it even more by doing a red velvet recipe where we do not use a hand mixer or the oven. We are going to use our cooker, like our cooker. You can also use this method using your jiko. So let's get started, and kindly don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video if it is useful. It's the kind of content you'd like to be seeing. Don't forget to hit the notification button, so every time I upload a video you will be the first to be notified. So let's get baking. So we start by prepping our dry ingredients as usual. So we have our all-purpose flour, our baking soda, our baking powder, our cocoa powder, and a pinch of salt. So we make sure that we sift these, very important to create more air bubbles into our cake and make it fluffier and lighter and very soft. So we make sure that we sift that. For the cocoa powder, I make sure that I use the one that was just the normal one, as you can see, not the alkalized baking powder. I find this one gives me a very taste to my red velvet, and that's why I prefer using it. And it doesn't darken or brown my red velvet, it just maintains the normal red color, because I found that the alkalized baker's powder, like the cocoa powder, it makes the my cake brown on the side. I don't know if that's the reason, and also it has a very a different taste. So we've sifted our dry ingredients and set that aside. So we go into our milk. For this, we're using the buttermilk. Buttermilk is the mala, if you do not know. And if you don't have mala, you add a little bit of vinegar or lemon to it to make the fresh milk buttermilk. So I normally use add my color here, especially when I'm using the powder color, so it mixes well and it doesn't leave spots on my flour. So we start our dry ingredients. So we make sure that you're using the fine sugar, and then we have our eggs, our oil there, 3 eggs. Remember, the measurements will be in the description box. Remember, here we are not using our hand mixer, our stand mixer, or any kind of electric mixer. We are using these whisk. You can also use a mwiko if you don't have a whisk, because here it's simplifying, so it's easy even to use your mwiko if you don't have a whisk. So we beat our eggs, and then we add our sugar a little at a time. This makes sure that it has added, and then it's easy, it does not fly all over the place, and it's easy also to mix a little at a time. You add it to your eggs a little at a time, mix that a little at a time. What we want to achieve here is make sure that we get a pale, we mix our eggs and our sugar until we get a very pale color. Not the yellow color, not the yellow egg color. We get a pale color after mixing. That means that we've incorporated enough air for our red velvet cake to rise well and become fluffy well. So that's the color we are looking at. And then we add our oil, our cooking oil, vegetable cooking oil. For this recipe, I used a little bit of margarine and a little bit of oil. So half of margarine and half of oil. And then I did my vinegar, my vanilla essence, mix that well to make sure everything is incorporated. Don't overmix at this point. You'll realize in the other recipe I just used the oil. I didn't use the butter or the margarine. So we also add here our buttermilk, which we had added our red color. Make sure you're using good color. For you to get that good color for your red velvet, you make sure you're using a good brand which gives a very nice red color to your red velvet. So we start adding our dry ingredients a little at a time, like in portions, as we mix, to make sure that everything has mixed well. Kindly don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video if it's the kind of content you'd like to be seeing, and I will be sharing more of these, and as I have been doing in the past, you can check my other videos and see if it's the kind of content you'd like to share or you'd like to be watching. Don't forget to hit the notification button so that you'll get all those notifications every time I upload a video. So we mix that just enough to make sure that the oil is the flour is and the dry ingredients are well mixed with the wet ingredients. And then we've already prepped our baking tin with butter or a margarine or oil and a flour. You dust it with flour so that our cake does not stick after it is cooked. So we pour our butter into the baking tin, and then we move to where we are going to cook it or bake it. So you need a heavy sufuria or a cooking pot like this, big enough for the baking tin to fit in. For here, this one I used salt. If you don't have salt, you can use sand. It does the same work. And then we want to put something like to make sure that our cake does not get direct heat. You need something to put our cake on. This is to make sure that all the air bubbles are out. And we preheated our sufuria for around 5 minutes. Now we put in our baking tin, our butter inside, and then we want to cook or bake these for around 50 to 55 minutes on low heat. And there goes our red velvet, which is ready. It's fluffy, it's well done, and it's very tasty. You just insert a skewer or a toothpick inside to make sure that all the places are well cooked. That's how you know or you bounce it. If it bounces back, then it's well done. So you see it's fluffy. Our cake is so yummy. It's fluffy, it's delicious, it's good looking, it's all that. Don't forget to hit that notification button and that subscribe button, like and share button. Thanks for watching.